Hello again and welcome back. If you are new around here, then hello, nice to meet you. And if you are returning, then thank you very fucking much for coming back. That is your warning that I do like the odd wee sweary word on this channel. It's not meant in a bad way, I promise you, it just is in my vocabulary and I really can't help it. I'm sorry. I'm Alana and I am a 30-something lady from Scotland, and I usually like to sit on here and ramble about skincare, makeup, lifestyle, all that kind of shit. But this video is going to be the part-time YouTuber tag. I seen the lovely Cara from Beauty and the Frizz doing this the other day and I thought, that is genius, that's fucking genius. It turns out it's actually a lady called Monica Adriana, I want to say, who created the tag in the first place. So I will link both their channels down below, and actually I'm just going to put Cara's channel up in the corner here because I think she's fucking mint. I honestly, like, I don't, like I've said it before, I don't want to be like I've got my golden straw out sucking at your asshole, but she's so fucking funny. Oh, I don't even know, the last video that I watched and she was, well, it wasn't the last one, I've watched a few, but the one that I stuck in my mind when you were talking about, what was it, like money or like game points to buy, and she was saying how her son was saying like he's kidding on now, like he's happy that he's not having, like he wanted it, and she said, you know, sometimes we have to be happy even though we're not getting it, and he is kidding on that he's happy, but she knew, it's just, do you know what? I think she's mint, I think she's amazing, she's an absolute gemstone. So please go and check her wee channel out. But I seen her do this tag and I thought, that looks like a really good tag. Because if you haven't watched my Q&A, you maybe don't really know very much about me. You maybe think, oh, this woman just sits in her house and does YouTube all the time, and what else does she do with her life? And I can assure you, like, I actually work full time. I don't even work part time. So I do this very much as a hobby. As lockdowns and COVID and all that kind of stuff have snuck in, it's meant that basically I've had more time to do it because we're sitting in the house not doing very fucking much, to be honest with you. It was a little bit different when, you know, we were out doing things. Me and Alan would go to cinema, you know, every other week or something like that, but that's not happening, is it? So I thought this looked really good. I thought it might just be a little bit fun and a nice little kind of video just to get a little bit more about me. If you like these types of videos, then just keep on watching. I've got my jumper on today. It is absolutely Baltic in Scotland today. It's so cold. It was snowing this morning. It's stopped now, but it's fucking freezing. So I've got the jumper on. This is your word of warning to go and get yourself a tea, a coffee, a cuppa, whatever you like. But this does only have 8 questions. I will link the questions down below in the info box, just so you can actually go and see what they are, and if you wish to do the tag yourself. If you do wish to do the tag yourself, then you crack on. I am not individually tagging anybody. You can do it if you like. Cara did not tag me in this. I just thought it looked like a really, really good video to do. So grab yourself a cup of tea, a coffee, whatever. Grab yourself a biscuit, because you know I like a biscuit. And today I have got shortbread. Could I be any more of a cliche? Probably not, but just things that were kicking about after Christmas. I've ran out of nice biscuits. Shortbread's lovely, but it's not like it's not really a very Moorish biscuit, is it? But it's what I've got left, and I thought, oh bugger it, I'll just give them a go. I'll just eat them. They're sitting there. This brand of shortbread's not even very good. Sorry, I'm speaking my mouth full. Right, so question number 1 is, what is your main gig? Like, do you work full time? Are you a student? Are you a parent? Spill the beans. So I don't know if you've seen my quick question and answer video. I done a basically like ask me anything on Instagram and answered a few questions people had sent me. I'll stick that up here if you want to, because I don't want to do like too repetitive. I find that I'm quite repetitive. It's just kind of person I am. I like to drive my point home. But because of that, I have already spoke about this. I am a nurse. I am a nurse. I've been a nurse now for, this will be my 7th year. How the time has flown, I have no idea how it's happened. Back when I was younger and I left school, like high school, I did go to university and do textile fashion design. Tried that out, tried that on for size, and then was like, spent some time living in London and thought, I don't think this is for me. But I do also have chronic health conditions. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I've had that now for 22 years or 21? 22 years this year. In 2020, 21 years back in October. That's when my anniversary, that's what you call it. That's when that is. So I do have chronic health conditions. I've had open heart surgery before as well. I've had a lot of things going on with my health. So when I was younger, I did think, oh, I would quite like to go into nursing, and never really followed that path, never really took it up. And then in my later 20s thought, do you know what? I'm going to go and do that, or mid-20s I should say. I thought I'm going to go and do that. So that's what I do, and I am a full-time nurse. I work a 40-hour week most weeks. We do it like a shift rotation, so I might work 3 day shifts one week and then 3 night shifts the next, and out of every 4 weeks, one of those weeks I do 4 shifts a week. So it's kind of like evens out to a 40-hour week, but some weeks you might actually be doing a little longer. I work 12.5-hour shifts, so I work from either 7 in the morning to like 7:30 at night, or 7:15 till 8:15, whatever whatever it is where you work. And otherwise it'll be the mirror image of that. I'll work from 7 at night till 7:30 in the morning, and that's the way my shifts work. It's hard going, it's very hard going. I usually try, well, not me personally, obviously I don't make my rota up, but I like to have my shifts together. So like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or maybe like a Monday, Tuesday if it's a 4-day week, and then a Saturday, Sunday the same week, so it's a little split up. Again, if I'm on night shifts, doing 4 nights in a row is quite a long stretch to kind of manage, but sometimes it's nice to just get them out the way, because the thing with night shifts, I've spoke about this before as well, is if you are working for nights, you're actually working like 8 hours of the next day as well, because you're basically from midnight till 7:30 in the morning or 8 in the morning when you get away, you're working. So that next day you spent sleeping, so you kind of lose that day. So sometimes it's nice to try and get them out the way and then recuperate and then have a few days off. So that's the way it works. So also it means that if I say I work a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday one week and I'm not on till a Friday, Saturday, Sunday the next week, it means I've got that block in the middle off, which is quite nice. But what I try and remind people, like my other half sometimes, is he does Monday to Friday 9 to 5, and I do the equivalent of what he does in 5 days in 3. And I just try and remind him of that sometimes. And don't get me wrong, like, he's very supportive. He's very much like, I couldn't do your job, Alana. It would be so hard, and I could never do a night shift. Like, Alan would really struggle doing a night shift. He likes his bed. So yeah, I think that people sometimes think, God, nurses only work 3 days a week. Yeah, but we do work 12.5 hours. So if I get up at 5:30 in the morning, I go to my work, and then I don't get in till 8:10 at night. I eat something, I maybe watch something on the telly, and I'm in my bed for 10-11 o'clock, and that's it. That's all I do in that time. Like, it's not like people who finish work at 5 and then go home and, you know, maybe manage to get a washing on, or so nothing pretty much happens in the days that I am working. But on my days off, I do this, or usually we would do other things, but because of lockdown and COVID, I've done quite a lot of this. What made you want to start YouTube? Again, I think that's a bit repetitive for the question and answer video, because I spoke about the fact that it was because my dad died. It was a mixture of the creative background that I already had. I loved makeup, I loved that industry, makeup, fashion, beauty, all that. I loved that, but also initially, and I watched a lot of YouTube when I was younger. I've probably watched it for going on 11-12 years now. And I always kind of wanted to do one, because I've always loved makeup, and I've always loved doing my makeup and going out and having wild colourful makeup and all that kind of, yeah, not today obviously. By the way, if you do like what's going on my face today, then my You Picked My Makeup video, I'll stick it up here. Go and watch that, that's what this is on my face. So yeah, I kind of loved all that kind of stuff. I briefly, in my early 20s, when I was just kind of still in London, not sure if I wanted to be there, maybe coming back home, did think I might buy myself a little camcorder, like a proper one that you used to hold like that, and start uploading something to YouTube. But back then, you know, YouTube videos could only be like 10 minutes long. It was all very different. A lot of people used their webcam, and I never really took it up because I kind of wasn't sure what I was doing, didn't know where I was going with my life, and then decided, you know what, I'm going to go back to uni again and do something else. And a lot of the time my study took up. Looking back on hindsight, I wish I'd started when I was a student the second time round, because I was a lot more like focused on what I was doing, and I probably could have had plenty of time to do it then in between, like, well, I say that, but in between studying and actually working and all that kind of stuff, because I had a mortgage. In between all that stuff, maybe I wouldn't, but I'd like to think if I'd been more sensible with my time rather than be out partying quite a lot, then I probably could have started a little earlier. But you know, you're in your 20s, you're having fun. Fuck it. But yeah, that's kind of where it came from. And then my dad died 4 years ago. It got to a point where I didn't know how to get my emotions out my head and transferred and understanding how I was feeling. And I used to just sit and film myself on my phone and then watch it back, just talking about it. I never put anything like that on YouTube. I never put any of it on YouTube. It was for me. And then once I got through that, I just thought, I'm gonna start making these makeup videos. Like, if I can see all these people doing it, why can't I do it? Like, let's just do it. And I just started. And also travel vlogging, because that is probably the thing me and Alan love the most, going traveling. It's not happened this year, obviously, but we love that, and that's probably why I wanted to start doing it as well, because I really like documenting all the places we went together, because we travelled a lot of different places together. So that's probably why as well. What is your channel about? Do you stick to one niche or do you cover a few? So as I was saying, probably cover a few. To start off with, I probably thought I'm gonna, like, I didn't have a name as such. I didn't, like, it's AltogetherAlanna now, but I didn't have a name, right? And I just thought, I'm gonna get on and just start talking. And I came on and I started talking about my diabetes, and I came on and I started talking about the different types of diabetes, and I done something like that. And then I done like little reviews of new launches of makeup that I was interested in, and new skincare that I was interested in. I just started talking. So I probably covered quite a lot of things. I done little like daily vlog things sometimes. Travel vlogging, obviously, that was probably the main kind I done. And the thing was, now my travel vlogs, probably, they're maybe 30 to 40 minutes, but it's like, you know, 5 days condensed. Initially when I started doing them, I had like a vlog a day for the one trip. So I had like day 1 in Krakow, day 2 in Krakow. So it was quite extensive initially, and then now I've kind of managed to edit a little bit and condense myself. It's difficult, believe me. But I managed to tailor it down a little bit. So I done a bit of that. And then I kind of thought, right, I think skincare, beauty, that kind of thing, fashion is probably the area that I like to speak about the most. But I don't like to put myself in a niche. That's why I still do the odd weekly vlog or daily vlog. I still like to do our travel vlogs if and when we're able to go. And I still like to talk a lot about healthcare and the science behind things, especially when it comes to like skincare. I do like to talk about that aspect because I quite enjoy reading academic papers on things to make sense of them. But that's just me, that's just how I feel about it. I'm not saying everybody should do that, but because of the job I'm in, it means that I already, not that I know how to do it and somebody else doesn't. Anybody could do it, but sometimes looking at research can be a bit bamboozling. It's bamboozling for me, and I read things sometimes and I'm like, right, wait a minute, how do you make sense of this research? And because of my job and what I've done, it kind of makes it a little easier for me. So I like to still throw that side of things in. A lot of the time people won't care, because people, if they like a product and it works for them, they won't really care whether it's like scientifically its claims are correct or not. But I do like to kind of touch on those topics. So I'm a bit of a variation, a melting pot. I've said that before, but yeah, probably mainly kind of beauty, skincare, fashion things. Did you always know YouTube would be a side gig, or do you ever want to be a full-time YouTuber? So I don't think I always knew it would be a side gig, because I think now youngsters now that are in high school, they maybe think like when they're in school, like, oh, when I grow up I want to be a YouTuber. I never thought that, because that just wasn't an option when I was growing up. Like, it wasn't something you wanted to, you maybe wanted to be like a pop star, a rock star, whatever, a TV star, an actress. You didn't want to be an influencer. And now I think that is a lot of young people's aspirations. So I don't think I always knew it was going to be a side gig. It was certainly just because I stumbled into it, I liked it, and as I say, it was a little bit of a coping mechanism for me as well in a way. So that's why. But did I ever want to be full-time, or do I want to be a full-time YouTuber? I think that it's difficult, right? So I'm sitting here and I think I could just sit here in my bedroom, in my house, wherever, or I could go on a nice trip and vlog it and I could put that up and it would be nice. I'm not saying for a second there's not work in being a YouTuber. It takes a long time to sit and film and maybe think about what you're filming, and then you're editing and you're uploading and you've got your thumbnail. Like, it could cost money if you're going to buy something new to review. Like, I'm not saying there's not, oh, sorry, my hair is doing my absolute box in today. It's getting a little too long and it's getting really light, isn't it? It's not as orangey as it normally is. But yeah, I don't think, I'm not saying that there's not work in being a YouTuber, and especially the really big successful ones. Like, I think it is a constant job for them. I don't think they can switch off from it because they are online most of their life. I think that must be really difficult. So I'm not saying that it's not hard work, but if I think I could do this and earn the same wage that I earn being a nurse, which isn't remarkable, like, personally I don't think we get paid enough, but that's another topic. Yeah, this would be an easier gig for me, I'm not gonna lie. But also, would I get the I get a lot of satisfaction out of YouTube. I like it, I like the community side of things, but the satisfaction that I get from my job is different. I get a lot of educational satisfaction, like I'm constantly learning. I get a lot of satisfaction in just plainly helping people. Obviously that is a massive satisfaction in my job. But from me qualifying as a nurse at like only 7 years, like if you were to ask a nurse who'd been a nurse for 40 years, then they're going to be able to give you a much more expansive answer. But even in that 7 years, nursing has changed so much, and the amount of abuse and the amount of like physical abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse, the amount of responsibility that's put on us, it is unbelievable at times. And sometimes, especially in the last 12 months, it becomes a bit like, are the bads outweighing the goods? And sometimes you do go, oh god, could I just go and get a job, like, I don't know, in a like restaurant, or could I just go and get a job in an office, or could I just go and get a job? Surely I don't have to put up with the amount of shit that I get in my work sometimes. But then all it takes is that one thing to happen, like you help someone and someone's like, sorry, I'm very emotional, but somebody thanks you for being there when they've lost a loved one, or somebody thanks you for educating them on a new disease they've got, and that is priceless. And I can't, oh sorry, that is priceless, right? Sorry, big bawling greeting Wayne now. But it's priceless and I can't swap that. So do I think I would ever go YouTube full time? No, I probably wouldn't. How do you keep your YouTube channel organised? Do you like to plan videos ahead or just film what you feel like? Oh sorry, missed out number 5 there. What is your schedule like? When do you film? When do you edit? I think that probably goes hand in hand with what I'm saying about my work schedule. I have to work around my rota, and if my rota means that I'm working for 4 days, then I'm not going to be filming or editing for those 4 days. It's not going to happen. So I try to tend to do it on my days off, and at the moment that means I've had quite a lot of time to do that because we are not out doing anything. But back in normal life, when we had a normal life, I would probably spend 1 day at least doing a bit of filming, and then use another like half a day or something to do some editing and things like that. And if I didn't get everything edited that I wanted at that time, then it might spread out a bit, and it means that my videos can't be as perfectly planned out. Like I video on a Monday, Wednesday, or a Saturday. Like that can't happen. I try my best, and through this year I done quite a lot of pre-filming when I had some time off. I had quite a lot of pre-filming done. I was off for a week in January, and then in March I have a week off as well. I know it sounds like I've got loads of weeks off, but the way our annual leave works, it's really funny, and you have to use it up before April, so I've got time off at this time of the year. And actually now they really want everybody to use it because a lot of people didn't use it when all the COVID was going on. So I've got a week in March. So during that week in March, although I might have 1 to 3 videos go up that week in March, I might be filming 5 to 8 videos that week that then will spread out over the coming week. So that's how I try to do it, but I know I don't have a real set in stone plan of things. And then it says, obviously, how do you keep your YouTube video organized? Do you plan ahead? Yes, so yeah, I definitely do plan ahead. Like, I think, right, today I'm going to get 3 videos filmed, or if I know I want to test out a new product, so I'll film that bit with like the camera and be like, this is me trying out the new products and show it on the skin and all that kind of thing. Then I'll finish the makeup look, and then, unless it's a video about the makeup look, and then I might go on to film like this one today. Obviously I filmed the what's on my face, like you pick my makeup video, and now I'm filming this one. So I do film them back to back. That's how I try to plan. Doesn't always go that way. How do you feel about sponsored videos on YouTube? Have you or ever would you do one on your channel? Never been sponsored to do anything. I am far too small a YouTube channel to do anything like that. I have been sent the very odd bit of PR, very odd bit of stuff that people were like, can we give you this to try it? Like, do you want to try it? Actually, the most recent one was from a jewellery company in Canada called Majuri. And you know what, I'll link them down below, but it's not because they've asked me to speak about them, I can assure you. But the reason I'm linking them down below is because the style of jewellery that they do is so up my street. I like layering jewellery like this. I like having like gold, kind of more delicate pieces with chunky pieces. Like, that's the kind of stuff I like, and it was right up my street. So when they contacted me, it was via email, I was like, yes, absolutely, I would love to. And that then was what you call product payment. So they gave me a piece of jewellery that cost, I think it was something like 80 to 100 Canadian dollars, because they're based in Canada, and I got it sent to me for free essentially, but I had to put a post up on Instagram just showing me wearing the necklace. And obviously in that Instagram post I did put ad at the start of the post. That drives me crazy when I see people, and even worse when people that I know, but they'll do like a whole post and you're like, what's this supposed to look like? It's a bit random, or and then it's like at the bottom, buried somewhere in between the hashtags and all that, it's like hashtag ad, and you're like, no, that should be right at the top. It's the same with YouTube. It kind of annoys me. Like, I've watched some, I'm going to just say one of them for the now, Dr. Dre, a couple of videos that she's done, and it will come up and say like paid, includes paid promotion in the corner. Now if you're not watching the video at that time and that disappears, then you might not necessarily know that video is a paid promotion. So it should say ad in the title where you can see it in the start. That's my feelings on it. That might not be everybody's cup of tea, but if I was ever to be given something to particularly speak about on a video, then ad would come at the start, because I've been given that for free to speak about on a video. That was the agreement. What I will say is though, you shouldn't be doing that all the time. Like, people deserve to be paid. Like, if it's an advertisement, if somebody says, I want to send you something, I'll send you this for free and you can talk about me for 30 minutes. That's not very fair, is it? I didn't think it was too bad a deal that I was getting a nearly $100 necklace that I really liked the look of, and all I had to do was take a picture with it, and I thought, I know I'll wear it, I know I like it, I think it looks really nice. And I never like gave it all this like amazing, Majuri's my best brand ever, like I never gave it anything like that. It was just purely a picture of me wearing the necklace and saying like, this is me in my Boxing Day attire. I'm trying to be like pared down and stuff, and this lovely Majuri necklace was gifted to me. An ad was right at the start of it. I think that's how I feel about it. I think if a company came along who I love and use frequently and said to me, right here, there's 50 quid payment if you mention us in your video, and it's something I already use, then yes, okay, that's fine, because actually I've already bought your products 2 or 3 times now, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. This is a really long answer, I know. But I think people who do this as a full-time aspect, or people who put a lot of work in, they deserve to be paid for what they are doing, but I think it needs to be very transparent. I think that is important. And I think the problem is as well that the UK guidelines are maybe a little bit different from the US guidelines. Is it the FDA or somebody like that? I might be talking about the wrong person, but they're different in different countries, and then therefore some top influencers might go traveling wherever you go and take a photo in this country and post it, and not mention that there's any ads or that they've been paid to put this photo up, but that's because the country that they were in at the time of doing it didn't have those guidelines. It's a very messy, muddy place to be. I think as long as the person is being open, honest, saying I'm going to be sponsored, maybe even a separate like ad break part of the video to be like, this is the sponsor of this video, that doesn't bother me whatsoever because it's very apparent. I think that's fine, and especially if it's a brand that you've seen the person talk about a lot as well, or something that they've said I've been interested in it but now I'm going to give it a go. And I think as well if they follow up on it, so they do this ad as such but then you never hear about it again, that's quite difficult, because I think sometimes it's like, well, did you like it, or did you just say you liked it because it was an ad and that was the terms of the agreement? Difficult, lemon difficult. What do you think the biggest challenge of doing YouTube part-time? I don't think it's a challenge. I think that's probably because, again, the career that I'm in, most things don't seem challenging in comparison to my job. I think sometimes your self-doubt, I think a lot of the time I get quite worried about how I maybe come across, because I am quite sarcastic, I am quite abrupt at times. My work wife, Tracy Jane, would tell you that she bought me a mug and it says on it, I'm not angry, this is just my face. I think I am very much that personality. I'm a little bit like, what? Like, I just can't help it. And if something is written all over your face, you really can't help it. And I also think that because of that kind of either cultural, is that the right word to use? Because I'm from Scotland, like, Scottish humour is different, and Glaswegian humour is different from anywhere else. Like, it's just different. Like, I think American people are very, certainly any that I know directly and have dealt with throughout my life, are very understanding people to a point. I've seen yous on the news, I know you're not all like that, but I think it's like, if I was to say like, I'm having a really tough day today, people would be like, oh god, like, are you okay? Like, what's wrong? Do you want to talk about it? And they can be very understanding, whereas I've grown up in a place, in a household, in an area where it's just like, why, what's wrong with you? And that's just the way it is, and it's not meant in malice. It's really not. Like, if I wanted, like, my mum wouldn't say that. My mum loves me and she would be like, what's wrong, are you okay? She would. But you know that way, like, it'd be like, hey, what's up with you? I can imagine somebody in my work saying that, like, what's up with you? And you'd be like, I'm having a shitty day, alright? And you would snap back at them, and then, you know, half an hour later you would come together and be like, sorry about that, by the way, sorry, that's just, I was just having a bad day. And they would do the same. They'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, and like, what's wrong? And they would talk to you. It's just different. And I think sometimes I worry people maybe think I'm coming across a bit cold or a bit harsh or something like that. That worries me, because I'm not that person. I would give you the shoes off my feet if I needed to, but it's just our manner, it's just the way we are. So that worries me a lot of the time. I worry as well, like, people maybe think I think, you know, I'm better than them or something. Like, these things worry me. I worry, like, maybe sometimes when I'm editing videos back, I'm like, oh, that came across the way I've meant it. These things worry me. So the self-doubt, I think that's probably the most challenging thing about YouTube. And now I've rattled on probably for a good half an hour when it was an 8 question tag video. So I'm going to leave it with that. I hope you've enjoyed that. And are you a part-time YouTuber? By all means, please do this tag. I think it would be really, really interesting to see for other people. And is there anything else that you would like to know? Anything else that you want to know? I mean, you know, within reason. I'm not going to be getting into any great nitty gritty detail, but I'm more than happy to answer most of your questions. So if there is anything else you'd want to know, just pop them down in the comments and I'll give you a little response. Otherwise, please like the video, and otherwise I will see you all again in the next one. Bye.